Hi, this is Jean. This is my third video on the topic of classical education in the Wells. There's a reason why this video follows the video that is about differences of opinion, because I know that this is one in which people will have differences of opinion. I did have some pictures of different curricula here, and then I thought I'd delete them, different classical Christian curricula, because I don't want to get caught up in, well, that company or this, that, the other thing. I just wanted to kind of ask a few questions about it, but I wanted to make it a video instead of just typing it, because there are some things I don't understand, and I don't want it to come across as, I don't understand why, when I really do understand it, but I'm upset about it. But in reality, I don't understand some of the understandings that others in the Wells have, because perhaps because I was not, I'm not a called worker and I didn't go through that training. So what curricular materials would be used in a classical Wells school? I see this as a hurdle, and maybe it's not, maybe you can set me straight, but it's my understanding from talking to pastors and teachers in the Wells that we are not to use curricular materials that take a religious viewpoint that is Christian if they are not published by Wells or ELS, so like through NPH. So in science, social studies, etc., we would just use materials in Wells schools that are secular or are considered neutral. Now, I have been a public school teacher for many years, and I will probably disagree with some of you in that I do believe that some materials are secular. So, for example, I teach SIPs, Systematic Instruction in Phonological Awareness, Phonics, and Sight Words. I teach 11 lessons a day, and there are student readers, and I just do not see any bias whatsoever, one way or the other. In that, I would be interested to know if anybody is familiar with SIPs, if you can find anything in there. But I also see the rest of the curriculum that we have from that same company, the Tier 1 classroom instruction. I look at some of the biographies and things, and there is definitely a bias there. Secular does not necessarily mean neutral. In fact, you talk to a lot of folks, and there's some debate as to whether anything can be neutral, or whether everything that is created out of somebody's worldview. So, but it is my understanding that we in the Wells are not to use any materials that mention religion. So there's a lot of these classical Christian materials that are published by non-Wells companies, and then would have some doctrine that is not the doctrine that we have. So those would have to be rejected, is my understanding. However, what I don't understand is then we are able to use secular materials that have a godless worldview. So I am kind of interested to know, because basically the pastors and teachers that I've talked to said, no, this is, once they start talking about religion, we have to make sure that it doesn't have, decision theology and things like that in it. But I guess I would personally, and remember, I'm a public school teacher, so I'm not teaching in a Wells school at all. I haven't seen a Wells lesson taught since 1995, since I was in high school. I would personally, and for my own kids, rather use a Christian curriculum and then point out the errors to them. In fact, I talked to a homeschooling parent in the Wells a couple of weeks ago who said that she even wrote a letter to the company explaining the errors in doctrine that were in the teacher's manual. And I thought, well, that could be even a really neat thing for kids to see and understand that. But that my understanding is that I am I just don't know what the statement is from the Wells on this. It seems that every pastor and teacher I talk to, for the most part, says once that there's religious content in it, then we cannot use it in Wells schools. However, I have not seen a specific position on this, and I would just be more interested to know what everybody's thoughts are on this. And most of you are going to have more information than I do on this. So please share your thoughts, opinions, statements, facts, what you learned while you were in school, all those kinds of things, and ideas about what curricular materials would be used in a classical WELS school. Thank you.